It was an advertisement.
Greg Gutfeld fact-checked Jessica Tarlov live on air, and it wasn't pretty. Ever wonder what happens when political spin gets slapped with cold, hard facts in real time? Subscribe now if you're tired of media fluff and ready for unfiltered truth with receipts.
That's the real crisis.
Before the internet lit up, before the headlines screamed controversy, it all started with a tense exchange on The Five. Greg Gutfeld, Fox News' resident firestarter, didn't just show up with jokes. He came with receipts. The target? Jessica Tarlov, the show's liberal voice who never backs down from a political clash. But this time, her facts didn't land like they usually do. It began when Tarlov brought up Trump's alleged connection to white supremacy during a heated debate. "It's not a conspiracy, it's documented," she insisted. Gutfeld's response? Stone cold.
Joint Chiefs of Staff to be executed and say
He pulled up archived footage and direct quotes on live TV, exposing inconsistencies in her claims. This is what happens when you base your politics on vibes instead of facts, Gutfeld snapped. The audience? Shocked. Twitter? Exploded. Hashtags like #Tarlov exposed and #Gutfeld delivers shot up the trending charts. Conservative pundits praised Gutfeld for finally calling out the bias on air, while liberal fans defended Tarlov, accusing Gutfeld of ambushing her. One viral post said it best. Gutfeld just turned The Five into a courtroom, and Tarlov wasn't ready. The drama officially ignited.
okay,
Give me a crazy person. I'll reject him.
Donald Trump.
It kicked off during a heated segment on The Five when Jessica Tarlov fired a sharp critique at her own side. She claimed the Democratic Party was still reeling from Trump-era trauma, stuck in a reactive mode, and failing to push through meaningful reforms. "We're still playing defense," she said, "and that's why Americans are losing faith." Her tone was urgent, but Greg Gutfeld wasn't having it.
The real issue here is that he's talking a big game about transparency, but he's not being transparent.
He came back swinging, accusing Tarlov of spinning a tired narrative that blames Trump for everything instead of holding Democrats accountable. "You can't cry Trump every time something goes wrong," Gutfeld said. "That's not strategy, that's denial."
Supposed to say, but the sausages taste great at the end, but you didn't.
Then he hit her with statistics. Polls showing Biden's approval ratings sinking fast, voter frustration boiling over, and key issues like inflation, border security, and foreign policy spinning out of control. Gutfeld wasn't just disagreeing. He was dismantling her argument, brick by brick. This wasn't banter. This was intellectual combat on live television.
Or diagnosing yourself from home so you don't have to get up and then sit in a waiting room and then catch something.
"You're not informing people, Jessica," Gutfeld fired back. "You're distracting them. The numbers don't lie. Biden's losing grip, and the country knows it." The panel went silent for a beat. Even viewers at home could feel the air shift. Gutfeld had landed a hit, and the crowd knew it. He made it clear, this wasn't a debate. It was a takedown. Twitter caught fire instantly. "Tarlov walked into the lion's den and got eaten alive," one user posted.
It was an advertisement for getting a sugar daddy. Lauren Sanchez. Why was she there? Because
Others cheered her courage, while some mocked her for getting schooled. The war of words, fully underway. Greg Gutfeld didn't just fact-check Jessica Tarlov. He dismantled her narrative brick by brick, all under the hot lights of live TV. Tarlov had confidently declared that the Democratic Party was only struggling due to lingering Trump trauma, claiming their core policies were sound but sabotaged by Republican obstruction. She cited progress on healthcare and climate change, attempting to cast the party as victims of GOP chaos. But Gutfeld wasn't buying it.
Members won't show up to listen to the people there, and folks are talking.
He came armed with hard numbers. Recent polling data from Gallup showing Biden's approval rating at just 38%. A Pew study revealing that 64% of Americans were dissatisfied with the government's handling of immigration, and inflation numbers that refused to budge. Gutfeld cut through the noise with one sharp line.
Rogan to say she like, you have to come see us.
This isn't Republican sabotage, it's Democratic failure. You can't blame a ghost when you're the one steering the ship. The live audience tensed up, and even the other panelists stayed unusually quiet. Tarlov tried to respond, but Gutfeld had already landed the punch. Social media exploded. Clips of the moment flooded Twitter, with users calling it the most savage fact-check on daytime TV. The battle lines were drawn, and the internet chose sides fast.
Megyn Kelly and Rosie O'Donnell, and it's so...
You've probably seen it by now. Social media exploded after that moment. Fans and critics alike took to Twitter, Reddit, and other platforms to voice their thoughts on Gutfeld's fiery takedown of Tarlov. The reactions were all over the place. Some fans were 100% behind Gutfeld, praising him for standing his ground and calling out Tarlov for what they saw as a fake news spin on political events.
Yeah, it's noisy in this city.
Yeah.
Charlie,
One user on Reddit summed it up perfectly. Gutfeld just owned Tarlov. I'm here for the real facts, not the woke BS they keep spewing on The View. That sentiment echoed across platforms, with countless fans showing their support for Gutfeld's no-holds-barred approach. It's clear. The people were loving the way he called out the liberal narrative, and they weren't afraid to let the world know.
When we go on this, on this.
On the flip side, Tarlov's defenders quickly rallied behind her. One Twitter user fired back, Gutfeld may have his opinions, but Tarlov has more credibility in her pinky than he does in his entire show. The battle lines were drawn, and it wasn't just about who won the argument. It became a full-on ideological war, one that played out in real time across social media.
Zombie analogy. In a zombie flick, there's so much struggle to...
Greg Gutfeld took the conversation way beyond polling numbers and policy critiques. He lit up the bigger issue he sees plaguing modern politics, woke culture, and he didn't hold back. Gutfeld argued that the left's obsession with political correctness, virtue signalling, and identity politics has become a smokescreen for failed leadership and hollow promises.
Not taking of his
Brett
not
says we have to go.
criticizing
Stop.
Putin is that he's pro-Putin. He's a deal.
Woke politics isn't about progress, he said. It's about pretending to care while real issues get worse. He called out the way Tarlov and others on The View push emotionally charged narratives, painting over failures in economic policy, border security, and education with feel-good slogans. According to Gutfeld, it's all part of a bigger liberal playbook: sell outrage, dodge accountability, and shame anyone who disagrees.
Why all those women were so, like, hot under the collar. They were just staring at him and just going, I want a piece of peace.
He didn't just come for Tarlov. He came for the culture that supports her talking points. He pointed out how the so-called party of science has cherry-picked data and pushed narratives that serve elitist interests while ignoring working-class struggles.
We're tweeting a lot about the Brennan Rubio interview, and I believe now when you hear the word...
It wasn't just a political jab. It was a cultural smackdown. The moment hit hard, especially with viewers fed up with what they see as the left's double standards. Now, let's talk about the aftermath. After the live takedown, something interesting happened. Tarlov, who's usually quick with a comeback, was surprisingly quiet. No fiery retorts, no cutting remarks. She sat there, visibly flustered as Gutfeld kept going. You could almost feel the weight of the silence. And that, folks, is what made this confrontation so fascinating. Gutfeld didn't just win a debate. He shut down the usual talking points, leaving Tarlov without her typical weapons.
Uglified themselves. It's like they've lost the idea of what is hot, right? You see pictures...
That's the real crisis.
Fans were quick to notice her silence. One fan tweeted, Tarlov didn't know what hit her. Gutfeld came in like a wrecking ball and she just sat there. The reactions were mixed, with some calling it a victory for Gutfeld, while others felt Tarlov had been caught off guard and wasn't given a fair chance to respond. One Reddit user even posted a meme of Gutfeld with the caption, When you have the receipts and you don't hesitate to drop them on live TV. That pretty much sums up how people were feeling about Gutfeld's role in the controversy. The meme spread like wildfire, with people sharing their own takes on the live fact-checking.
It's hard to get people to believe you anymore.
Yes.
So
The Gutfeld versus Tarlov drama isn't just about a TV argument. It's part of a much bigger narrative. This moment encapsulates the deep divide in American politics, where even a show like The View has become a battlefield for ideological warfare. The right versus left debate isn't just happening in Congress anymore. It's happening right in our living rooms.
I saw her and I figured I'd give her one more shot. And I said,
And that's where Gutfeld and Tarlov come in. While Gutfeld is out here calling out the flaws in the liberal agenda, Tarlov is trying to defend it, holding the line for her party. But in this face-off, it was clear that Gutfeld wasn't just challenging Tarlov, he was challenging the entire narrative of woke progressivism. His fact-checking was more than just correcting a few points. It was a direct challenge to the very foundations of the current political climate.
all right. So a Republican has won an election.
So, what do you think? Was Gutfeld right to go after Tarlov so publicly, or did he take things a little too far? Do you think Tarlov had a point, or was she just spinning a narrative that couldn't hold up under pressure? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get this conversation going. And if you're hungry for more of these hot takes, make sure you're subscribed to this channel for all the latest drama and political smackdowns. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Peace.